You're listening to One Non-Blonde, the podcast that goes beyond the surface and digs deeper for the truth around us. I'm your host, Kim. Join me for this weekly podcast where my amazing guests sit down and talk about what's going on in their mind. You might be surprised and always be entertained. Welcome back to One Non-Blonde. I'm your host, Kim, and today I've got Andre Cohen, as promised, part 2. So Andre and I have so many topics that we want to talk about, and we decided we're going to do a series. So today we are going to dive into the scary world of dating. So welcome back, Andre. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing wonderful. I am going to start out with saying I am so grateful that I don't have to worry about this in my life, because I talk to people and they're like, you don't understand. And I'm like, I don't. So that's why I wanted to get some information to help my friends, because when I give them the advice, they're like, you know what you're talking about. So that's why I decided to go to an expert. So I'm going to give it to you to just start talking and we can kind of have a little conversation. But thank you, Andre, for showing us the dating way.
All right. Let's talk about the word dating. I always replace it with connecting. Okay. Because meeting and connecting, that's how it starts out. And the major point here is, especially the last 12 months, when now we've been a little bit separated from the outside world, people were approaching me as well about dating and connecting and things. First thing is we have to know why we want to date, our real intention. So the real intention, I make it very globally, is to have a companion. Companion is a very general term. What do I want with this companion? Just somebody to meet once in a while, go to the movies, have coffee, have dinner, have a companion. Okay. A friendship relationship. And the next intention would be the wrong approach to dating. I feel lonely. Because that's when we shop in the wrong aisle. Okay. We don't take the second look. I call it the second look. We see a person, it is attractive, it is okay with us, it is somebody, and we excite ourselves into liking that person. And the word like is very, very important here, because like is different than love. I have to like a person first before I love a person.
True. Very true.
And then when we continue and I love that person, I cannot stop liking him because the liking has to stay. So if we start after dating a relationship, we have to like and to love. So when we go, because I'm alone, I feel lonely, that is the wrong intention. Because we really shop in the real wrong aisle. The next intention for some people is, I go away from the last 12 months, is I want to be taken care of. So how you want to be taken care of? That is a big question. Taking care of my heart, of my emotion, of my soul, of my daily emotional needs, or just financially. And sadly, some people go that way. It doesn't work either. Because if we're emotionally neglected, we lose interest. We lose the tightness of a starting relationship or a continuous relationship. So the intentions we go into the dating scene is very, very important. And therefore, we have to know our real intention. And a lot of people say, I know it. And I prove them wrong.
I was going to say, I was going to ask you, how does one kind of do like a self-analyzation, or how do we kind of figure out where we are in our on that spectrum of why we want to do this?
Okay. There is the things of wants and needs. Wants are different as needs. And we live in three levels. I want to mention that. We live in our consciousness. That's what we do right now. Talking, listening, understanding. Then we live subconscious, what we feel, what we call our gut feeling. Okay. Oh, that feels right, it feels wrong. We cannot pinpoint it. That is the second level we live in. We have to discover that when we date, when we meet a person. And we have to discover it before we meet the person in ourselves. Where is my real intention? Do I mislead myself with what I want besides what I need? And then the third really dangerous level we live in is cognitive. Cognitive is things we just push away in a little pocket, and we stuff it and stuff it and stuff it. And it is almost like a volcano. When we're not aware of it, one of these days, in the wrong moment with the wrong person, it poof, explodes. So the awareness that we live in these three levels is very important. How we find it. We find it when we really sit back, calm down, and get away with our wants. Dating world is, I need a person. I need a person I can rely on. I have chemistry, and I can see a future. And there where the second look comes. So when we meet a person the first time, we don't know who it is. So we see it visually. So I see Kim now. Dark hair, nice makeup, red lips, nice smile. Okay, that's obvious. Yellow blouse, okay, nice. That visual effect I like. So the second thing is the voice. Do I like the voice? Do I like how the person talks? Do I like the articulation, how the words are formed together? People underestimate it. They say, well, I don't know. Something is wrong. And they cannot pinpoint it. It is a way of communication. Okay. So when we meet, and I always call it the ooh baby effect, you know, you meet that beautiful woman and you say, oh baby, or you know, the other way around.
Yeah.
You meet this hunky guy, oh baby.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, for a coffee, for a dinner, but I don't think it has a future. The second look is completely different. So I like the appearance, I like the voice, I like the articulation. Now I have to look into myself. What do I feel in this moment? It is a visual and a phonetic attraction. Where is the attraction I have to that person? And here, people make a lot of dating mistakes. First date. And I see it when I have some clients and they tell me, I say, how did the first date? And yeah, we talked about my life, about, oh my people, come on. If you lay your whole life on the first date on the table without getting to know each other, that's a turnoff.
I agree.
It is a turnoff. You talk bad about your ex, your ex-wife, your ex-husband. You all bring negativity already into the first connection. We don't realize it because, oh, we haven't talked to somebody, so we use this opportunity to unload the whole trash. And we are not aware of it.
You know, I was just thinking about that. I was like, I think people think they want to hear a story, but not on the first date. Not the full story.
And now comes the second mistake we do. We come up with a perfect sales pitch. Hey, baby, how are you? Did you see my Porsche?
Yeah.
Do you see my Stroletti heels? Oh, I'm wearing my Gucci purse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a good person. I'm a generous person. I'm a soft-hearted person. Do you see that? The perfect sales pitch. It always reminds me when two people date and do the sales pitch like a used car salesman wants to sell a used car to a used car salesman.
Yeah, I agree. Or like that Disney date, even it's not
Yeah.
Disney, but it's a Disney date. It's like, I'm going to show you the world, like Aladdin, with the magic carpet ride, but that's not reality.
No, it's not reality. And here comes the second look where we say, well, what are your interests? Oh my God, I have so many. Oh, me too, but what is your favorite? Oh, I like to go to the opera. I like to go to a concert. I like to go to the movies. What's your favorite food? Oh, mine is Italian. Oh shit, I don't like Italian. This makes me fat, Okay. So
Isolated.
keep the conversation easy. It doesn't mean you cannot go in depth, but keep it easy. And here is the opportunity sometimes to drift into negativity again. I stay with the food. Oh, what do you like? I like Italian. Oh man, I don't like Italian because my last wife, she cooked Italian and she just was such a bitch. Otherwise, she cooked great, but she was such a bitch. I couldn't stand her. And you already bring negativity. Stay away from it. Because the new person is not the old person. Even you are not the old person. When you come out of a toxic relationship, don't step into the new one by making the same mistakes. Break the cycle. Go for what you need. And I don't talk about financial or material needs, what you as a person need. You need to be seen. You need to be heard. You need to be understood. And now comes the best case. You need to be loved. And that's what you have to look out on your date. Now, as you get to know each other, second, third date, there will come the question, why did you get a divorce? And here, people take the opportunity and lay it out again. Why don't you make it simple? But it didn't work out, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be divorced. But that is past. We're here today, and I like to get to know you.
I think that people want to put a story or a reason behind a divorce because they feel like I'm divorced, therefore I'm damaged goods, or I'm not maybe dateable. Does that make sense? I mean, I think it's what people do. And how do you break that? I mean, when you're talking to somebody and they're like, well, I want to explain myself because I need to validate that this person should date me again because this, like you said, she was a bitch or he was this and he cheated on me. And again, I didn't do anything. I'm the victim. I've been victimized. So therefore you need to love me because I'm innocent and the other person was the bad guy. So how do we break that? Because I think we want to like pump ourselves up and not realize that there was some things that we did that didn't work out also in the relationship.
Yeah, you got a valid point here. But my first question is, to make it simple again, do I have to explain to the other detailed?
I don't think we do.
No, it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out. We developed in different directions and we found out the love we hoped we can continue was not there. That is it. Okay. And here you say many things already positive. The love, we wanted was not there. So you are a lovable person. You don't put a sales pitch out there, but you say, hey, I can love if I'm loved and if I really feel the love.
Mm-hmm.
Something is wrong with my color. I hate it.
You look great. You look
Oh,
wonderful.
thank you. But, you know, it is also our judgment. We are subconscious judgmental. So, nice lady meets a nice guy, and we go back to the visual effect. Oh man, he's bald. I don't like bald head. Does it make him a different person because he has less hair? Our judgment is in our way. And that's why I recommend get to know yourself. Date yourself before you date somebody.
Yeah, I like that because I think, you know, I know of some people who are in older age group who find themselves like kind of putting a criteria out there, like age is important, this is important, that's important, you know, and I realize that when you're older, you don't want to, you feel like you're too old for this shit type of thing where you don't want to keep having to go in and out of relationships.
Right.
But I think you try to check the boxes, and like as soon as one thing is wrong, or like you said, it's like, no, I'm not even gonna try, or vice versa. Like you said, they're just gonna take that first look and say, okay, checks the boxes, even though this may not really be what I need or who he needs or she needs. It looks good because I'm picking it off the shelf and I've already spent some time on it. So now, therefore, I'm going to keep it going because if I don't, I've already wasted all my time.
Yeah. And here the thing is too, with 40 years looking back, like you said, checking off the boxes. We should have only two boxes. I like, I dislike. Makes it a lot simpler.
I like that.
Yeah. I like the looks. It's not perfect, but I like it. I like how the person talks. It's not perfect, but I like it.
Mhm.
I like the manners of a person. Not perfect, but I like it. Why do I have to compromise here already? Because I'm not perfect either. Okay. We have not to criticize ourselves, but like I said, date yourself. That's what I do with a lot of people. I say, okay, who are you? You are a woman first. How old are you? What do you think you send out in your personal billboard? And the personal billboard is a puzzle. When I say looks, that is alone a puzzle. The face is a global thing we see. The face is surrounded by hair and continued by the body. Let's stay by the face. Do I like the eyes? First puzzle. Do I like the nose? Third puzzle. Do I like the mouth? Third puzzle. So when the eyes look at me, another puzzle piece. Do I like the looks? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it appearing? When we go down to the mouth, do I like how it talks? Do I like how it smiles? So we already have a lot of puzzle pieces in a face. We can determine what it feels to us. When this person laughs, it makes me smile too. How much better can it get already? Okay. Now, this woman has gray hair, but she got hair.
True.
Okay. Uh, this guy is already a little bald, but he's intelligent, he's warm. The hair do not change your character. But I like the face, even there is nothing on top, but I like the face, I like the eyes, I like the smile. From the woman, the hair is gray. Wow. And here it comes also being real. What do we bring to the table? And that's what I talk about the sales pitch too. Dye your hair, put heavy makeup on, uh, stuff some toilet paper in your bra, you know.
Put your Spanx on.
Yeah, whatever you do is you have to realize when you date and you guys, I always can get each other, understand each other, get each other.
Mm-hmm.
There will be the time with no makeup. There will be not the time with covered wrinkle. There will not be this and this. You will be in the morning with crazy hair, bad breath. And if you still love each other, that's love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you have to consider when you meet a person. Not with a fresh mint mouthwash, not with 3 gallons of hairspray, okay? With the Einstein look, and nothing contoured, nothing nice, and the smelly breath. Would this person still appeal to me? Always take that case beyond the first look. Go into the second look. And when we go into a dating and the person says, I really think I fall in love, I say, oh my God. Fall in love already has the word falling in there. See if you can love and build it up. And I always tell people but they say, what's the difference between falling in love and being in love and let it grow? It's very simply explained. You take a bushel of hay and straw and put a matchstick on it. Wow, does it burn nice and high? But it's done in a few minutes. You put big logs of wood there. It will slowly flame, grow and grow, warmer and grow. And you always can put another log on it because there's enough heat and fire there to keep the fire going. That is loving and letting it grow. Where the straw and paper, you put the thing, wow, so nice and high, all of a sudden, the ashes is left. And that's the difference between falling in love and developing love. And some people try to argue with me and say, well, don't I have to fall in love to love? No. You have to feel love, not fall in love.
I like that, because I was just, when I'm listening to you talk, and I was just thinking about, like I said, I'm very blessed, my own relationship. It's like my husband, I always joke, I was like, he's seen me from the gamut of like bigger, smaller. I've been up down the scale, all these different pregnancies and all these different things. And what he always tells me, two things that always, obviously there's other things, but he always says, my eyes and my smile. And for me, it's his eyes and it's his hug. I swear I fell in love with his hug, because when I'm hugged by him, it doesn't have to be, it's not a romantic. I'm just, I feel like there's this connection, and I feel like it's just like I fall into the space of being with him. It's this being. It's not falling. It's being with him, and it's amazing. And I wish, I pray that other people find this, because when we're able to allow ourselves to be present.
I tell you how you feel when he hugs you. You feel belonging.
Mm-hmm.
You feel wanted, and you feel at home.
Yes, exactly.
No matter if you're in your house,
mm-hmm.
if you're in a park, if you're in a camping ground, if you're hiking, when he hugs you, you feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I tell people. You need to feel at home. You need to sit in your car. When the other person touches you, you touch him. And that's what I call the chemical connection. Okay? And that's why I say the intention, how you date and go into a relationship, counts. The intention, not the car, not the nice boobs, not the nice hairdo, not the fancy mansion. I like to tell you a little story from my childhood, and it shows how wise old people are. I was very fortunate when I was a student. I played in a band, made some good money, and to that time, one car was really in it, was called the VW car Mangia. It was a sports car, two-seater, convertible. I was driving around and, had no problem drawing the attention of nice-looking young ladies. And my grandmother told me once, she says, you do it wrong. You do it completely wrong. I said, what do I do wrong? She said, leave that car at home. At the bus, and don't show the car until you get to know that person, because you want this person liking you for the right intention, who you are. You're a crazy kid. You play the drums, you go here, you go there, you study, okay? You don't want that the intention is, wow, he must be rich because this young guy already drives a car. I was 20 years old driving a car. My Geo cost to that time $14,000. And, of course.
That's a lot.
And that was so wise, what he told me. And he says, your apartment, just put a bed there, and just be as simple as possible. And if that person doesn't care that you ride the bus, that you put a mattress on the floor, okay, that you have a camping table with 2 chairs in the room to eat on, if that person doesn't care about all that, that's when you know that person cares about you.
No, I agree, and that's great advice, because I feel as though we're so caught up in, like you said, status and looks, and I think especially as we get older, we're kind of like, oh, I used to be this, or because I said I have a lot of friends and people I know who are in this dating age over 40, and they're like, well, I used to be this and I used to be that, and they're kind of like discounting themselves, and they're also discounting who they date, because it's like, oh, well, I can't get that anymore because I'm no longer this. And so then it kills them when they go to the dating discount bargain, and then those people are not what they want or need more so than want. And then they're completely confused and upset because it's like, well, I lowered my standard and I still didn't have it. Well, why are we lowering our standard? So right. How do you help somebody with that mindset that they feel as though they have to lower their standard because I'm older and I'm not as cute?
No, you don't lower the standard. You just get more real. Who am I? I'm not 21 anymore. Okay. What do I really need? Not what I want. And from going to wants to need can be an upgrade, not a downgrade. Because I might gotten in younger years what I wanted, but never what I needed. Because if I would have gotten what I needed, I would still be married. I got the house. I got a great provider, but not what I really needed. Otherwise, you would be married. If you get everything in a marriage you need, why would you split up?
True.
Though that was not the needs were fulfilled, the wants. So that's not lowering the standard. Right now, I have a recent client I was talking to, and she says, I really don't care what the guy has. I want to get him and I want to be visible. I want that he calls me in daytime and says, I miss you. When he comes home, that he hugs me and sees me, not just comes home and says, it's dinner ready. I want to know that I'm a woman. I want to know that and let's come back what you said, when I want to hug him, I can hug him and he says, no, don't leave me alone. I don't feel it right now. Okay. So that shows. And that is what you said, sometimes it's a danger when we date later on in life, you've been already 2, 3, 4 years alone, and if you feel lonely, that is when we probably shop in the roll aisle and lower our standard. Our standard should be enhanced by get to know our real needs. And one formula doesn't fit all. Everybody has different needs, but we have one basic need. And if people say, no, I don't need that, I say, well, welcome to a very lonely age. We need to be wanted, we need to belong, we need to be loved. And so people underrate what real love is. And I am getting very drastic there when I work with clients and say, okay, you have that person, you get each other, you love each other. But before you do that, imagine one thing. You're 50, you're 55, whatever. He is 60, 61, whatever. Imagine, God bless it never happened, but this person loses a leg and you have to push him in a wheelchair. Would you be able to love him like the person jumping around with 2 legs? Imagine that, please. And it is not negative. It is a reality check about real feelings. Would I be as fond of this person and be able to bond with that person, not being capable of doing what he's doing right now? And that is a reality check for love.
I suppose you made me laugh because my dad, we're talking about wisdom. My dad used to tell me that, can you clean up his vomit?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the truth. I mean, it's like that wisdom of
so true.
You know.
And it is simple. It is simple. There is nothing complicated.
Yeah. Would you be able to clean up this person's vomit and, continue on the day? And it's like, you, like you said, those simple words of wisdom are really what is the answer key, for a lot of things, which we just try to complicate too much.
Yeah, exactly, because life is simple and dating is simple too. And people say dating is hard. No, dating is simple if you start with yourself. You cannot date. Everybody says, I know myself. No, you don't. Because you don't know what message you send out to others. You don't know how your personal billboard is received. The message on your billboard is received. You know what you mean. But between what you mean and what the other person receives can be a misunderstanding. There's a long way.
How do you help somebody with that? I mean, I don't know. It's like, how do you help somebody figure out what their personal billboard is like? I mean,
well, I do it in several ways to make sure it is solid what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I always start with measuring their personal energy. And I say, how can you measure that? Well, there is certain science you can do it. A very little part is astrology, which is proven has a lot to do with the time of our birth from the time we live now, because the planets has changed, you has changed, something becomes more obvious. The second thing is I use shapes and colors. Ask a lot of questions about it. I use music. I use locations, questions about locations. And that's pretty much how you can narrow down the person's energy, the real energy level, and also the person's real needs and what the person can bring in the future. And it is not about changing, it is about adjusting. But what is meant by adjusting and by energies? I had a gentleman who had no luck dating after his divorce, no whatsoever. He always fell back in the same circle and cycle and met the same type of woman. He needed to step out of it. Well, I said, let's do your energies. And I say, the city you live in has no energy with you. Well, I live here the last 14 years. I say, well, you can live the next 100 years there. I don't care. But when I tell you this city has not the energy you need, and it is not. So he says, okay, I'm getting transferred anyway when I want to. I said, where can you get transferred to? So we found out that in another state, there's a city with high energy. He says, oh, we just opened up. Great, I get transferred there, you know? And we continued talking. Believe it or not, it didn't, after he established his new job there or the transfer and his new house, 3 months later, he found the love of his life. Believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
Energy is so important.
I agree. No, because I know people that are like everything looks great, they look beautiful, they're they're educated, but there's just something that's just off in the sense of like you said, what their energy level comes out at. That, and I think because I'm a very empathetic person, I'm like truly an empath. I can walk into a room and I can feel the energy, either a good energy or bad energy. It's like, and sometimes it's like it can drain me because like I feel like I've got all this on me, and so I sometimes have to like find myself getting away from some negative space, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, but I feel as though I like what you're saying, because I think we need to know what our personal billboard is and what we want to do, because I think that's going to help us to achieve not only just in dating, but just in our life where we want to go and where we need to go. And so how do people contact you? Like when somebody, what's a typical client when they're like going, okay, I need this mentor? What usually is a process, how you start with this relationship with them?
First of all, what I do for many, many years now, I do the energy check as the first thing that's mandatory. Mm-hmm. Because no matter if they're stuck in their career, stuck in their relationship, already existing one, or want to get in, or they have some hangnails from the past they don't know how to get rid of. It is always to do, where is your energy level right now, and how can we step it up? So that's what I do. And then I develop with my client what I call a signature plan. Here, that's where we are. That's where we want to go. These are the steps we have to take. Let's walk. And we're almost out of time. I want to summarize before we go in our next
session.
So into the relationship, I want to summarize some things, making some enemies right now. I want to start with making enemies.
I do too. I tell people they love me or loathe me.
Stay away from dating sites. Mm. Okay. Playing the lottery is the same thing. Stay away from it. Stay away from wrong intentions for the moment because you feel lonely. Stay away from telling you what you need before you know what you need, before you feel what you need. And then the next point is, when you date and you get each other, start working on the relationship before you start with the relationship. Okay? And what that means is the communication is so paramount. Make sure both understand what they mean. Because we had it happen yesterday, in text messages, things gets lost. Okay? Mm-hmm. Make sure to ask, what do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? I know we had a little error there, but we fixed it. We fixed it.
We're always fixing it.
We fixed it.
Make sure the other person knows. And what's important there is that you are not afraid to ask, what do you mean? Before you start assuming get mad
Mm-hmm.
on the end. It was not a storm, it was just a breeze.
True, true. I know. And it's like, it's funny because as I saw one of my friends posted, and it's one of those little memes, it's like, just because somebody posts something on Facebook doesn't mean it's about you, but maybe it's an opportunity for you to look in the mirror and say, well, maybe I do have a little problem here. So it's not always about somebody. But I think we assume, and I think that's one of our biggest problems is people just assume. And I think that um it's a buzz kill for a relationship, because when you assume something, you stop talking, and then next thing you know, it just festers into something that's completely, it ends, it dies before it even grows, you know. And I loved your analogy about the smoldering fire and the keep adding the logs. It was just beautiful. And because it's a loving, warm feeling, and it's the loving, warm place always. It's not a fall, it's a being in, and it's being enveloped.
And one thing is too, what people underestimate, love cannot be learned. That is one thing you cannot learn.
I agree.
The only thing you can learn is how to make love, but
not the same.
Not the same.
No.
Love is not a thing you can learn. You have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, well, let's look into yourself. Where do you hide it? Where is you bandage you put around love because it was hurt once? And let's take the bandage off together and learn how to activate it. But if you don't have love, don't force it. If you don't love a person from the bottom of your heart, when you don't feel like Kim at home when her husband hugs her, if you just feel hugged and not feel at home, okay, don't force it. Don't force a relationship. Don't force love. Don't force feelings. These are things that cannot be forced. You waste your time. And I feel sorry for everybody wasting his valuable time. If you can go the short and direct way in the right direction, why take many detours?
I agree. I am just, every time we get to talk or text, and we do quite a bit. I know Andre is a very busy man, but he does take time for me, that I learn something new about myself. And I'm excited to be able to share this to people to listen and to get to know more about themselves, because this is just so enlightening. And I love talking to somebody who gives us opportunity to use our hearts, obviously, but also our mind and that whole body experience to navigate through life. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our next talk, which we will be doing. So we'll be trying to, it's going to be a weekly
thing. Have a great day. And I hope everybody who listens will get something out of what I said and understand it. And if you have questions, just contact me. I answer you gladly.
I appreciate you. And as always, you were listening to One Non-Blonde. I am hoping that, I know you're going to have a blessed day, because God is amazing. And today is an opportunity to just take it on and change the world. In fact, I've changed my sign. It says today seems like a good day to change the world. So change the world, even with a smile. I cannot tell you how many times just opening a door for somebody or smiling changes somebody's life and heart. So thank you, and God bless. And thank you again, Andre, for everything.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.
We did 40 minutes.